Time now for Better Money Boston. Nick Colantuno is a certified financial planner at Johnson Brunetti. And Nick, when someone is faced with a pension decision, there are many things they need to be thinking about. Let's walk through some of that today.
Absolutely, Megan. The pension decision, if you are fortunate enough to be in a position to have one, which many employers have done away with them, the first decision you need to make is, do you want the income or do you want the cash? Do you want the lump sum? If the lump sum is the way you're going, the way to do it in order to continue to defer taxes on what could be a potentially large chunk of money, you want to make sure you roll that money into an IRA. That allows you to maintain control and flexibility over how the money's invested. And also, it then becomes your responsibility to generate the income you need from it. If you determine that you want the income payments, you then have a couple other decisions to make. When do you want that income to start? How long do you want it to last? Do you want it to last for your life or for the life of maybe a spouse or a kid? So there are a lot of things that go into that decision, but the important part, Megan, is once you make it, you cannot go back on it. So you want to make sure you have a plan.
You're locked in. Okay, what about timing? How does that come into play?
So that comes into play because, well, the pension decision is based on a couple things. What's your health? How long do you anticipate living? If that is a very short time, then maybe taking the income doesn't make sense, because if you pass away, that income stops. Whereas if you take the lump sum, you roll it into an IRA, you pass away, all that money gets left behind to your beneficiaries. So again, timing is very important.
You have control
Absolutely.
as well, as you said. What about payments? We have to talk about that as well.
A couple of different payment options if you determine that you do want those paychecks. They can either be for life, for as long as you live, the most common of which is what is called a life-only option. That means as long as you live, they're going to pay you the most amount of money as possible. When you die, those payments stop. There are also survivorship options, which mean that while you are alive, maybe you get a slightly reduced benefit, but in lieu of that, if you were to pass away, your beneficiaries receive maybe 50 or 60% of that benefit for as long as they live. There's also what's called a term certain, which means that while you are alive, the payments are guaranteed, and if you pass away prior to a certain date, maybe it's 10 years or 15 years, those payments will continue for the remainder of that term certain for your beneficiaries.
Tell us about your free book.
Our book is the Lump Sum Pension Payment Guide. This is such a large part of what we do. We actually wrote a book on it.
You can get it at bettermoneyboston.com.